It's the 20th Lancaster Archery Classic from the Spooky Sports Complex in Manheim, Pennsylvania, the largest indoor archery tournament on the East Coast. And we are set for our shoot-up finals for the Women's Open Pro category on a spectacular day of archery. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White, sitting alongside Steve Big Cat Anderson, who is gold medals in world archery, Reading champion, just 900s in Vegas. I mean, you know, I don't even know where to go. It's a ton of stuff. Steve, it's been a great weekend of archery. How's your weekend been?
As a has-been archer, it was actually pretty good. I gave some people trouble, and I even won a match here and shot clean. So it was pretty cool.
Not a bad warm-up for what's happening next weekend, but we're all focused on this. So, Steve, let's take a look at our schedule and what we've had so far today, because we are deep into this day. It started at 8 o'clock in the morning East Coast. We had Masters Open, then to Bow Hunter. Women's recurve and Olympic recurve. We had the youth male come out and shoot some compound matches. And then the big men's open category where we had 8 shooters competing in the hotly contested and largest category we have for entries. And now we're into the Women's Open Pro category. And Steve, one of the things that we have seen, as you're going to join us for the rest, has been the level of competition is incredible. But describe to us how this top 4 qualifying shoot-up works.
So they're going to go through a qualification round. In this case, it was 60 arrows. And then you'll be seeded into a bracket. And then for the women, they're going to, I think it was 16 archer cut. Then they're going to shoot head-to-head just like you would, say, a March Madness basketball tournament, something like that. So 1 against 16 and so on. When they get to the end of that, they take the 4 who are still standing. They add up every point you've had throughout the tournament, and they rank you 1 through 4. And then 4 is going to go against 3, the winner advancing to shoot against 2, and then the winner of that facing the number 1 seed for the title.
All right, it's going to be fun, exciting, and it's going to be great archery. So now let's get to PJ Riley, who's going to introduce our archers to the field of play.
All right, let's kick off our women's pro division this afternoon, or this morning. No, we are this afternoon. Our number 4 seed from Rovereto, Italy, Elisa Roner. And the number 3 seed from Towanda, Pennsylvania, Olivia Dean.
Well, for Olivia Dean, she's been shooting since she was a young lady, and she says really the highlight is making the shoot up. She's already a well-accomplished archer here in the United States. For Elisa Roner, this archer started shooting archery because her grandmother was shooting it, and she really burst onto the scene last year, got a name for her in the States, in Vegas, in the Indoor World Series final win, and Elisa Roner is here to stay out front. So, Steve, tell us, we're going to get ready to shoot, and it looks like Olivia Dean's going to kick us off, but what's the distance, what's the target we're shooting at, and how do we score this thing?
So archer to target is 20 yards. The target is a 40-centimeter face. This one's a tri-face, meaning there's 3 spots there. So the 11, that further, the most inner ring in the yellow is going to score 11. All you have to do is touch it. Then it's going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and so forth. And then in the bottom, there's a little 12 ring there, which will, you know, maybe come into play later on. But yeah, for the most part, they're going to be trying to maximize the score value, shooting that 11, and trying to put the pressure on one another, and then get a little strategy on the 12 if need be.
All right, so 11-10 for Olivia Dean. And Steve, so far this weekend, we have seen amateur shooters, and now we're into the pros. What kind of defines a pro?
Archery's, there's another good 10 there, so Olivia's going to keep that 1-point lead. Archery's kind of interesting in that there's not necessarily a ton of, you don't really have to qualify to become a pro. It's something you basically just have to pay for it. So if you're willing to pay the entry fee and go and compete in that class, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But in terms of like truly becoming a professional, I mean, I think you're, going to be competitive in that class and, shoot respectable scores, represent yourself and the brands who may or may not sponsor you as a professional in that manner as well.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like unofficially it's going to be 11-10-10 for both shooters. And let's go to PJ.
For our first end there, Elisa, welcome to the Lancaster Archery Classic final stage.
Thank you.
Have you been up here before in the finals?
No, never.
Have you been to this tournament before?
Never.
First time, all right. What made you decide to come over and compete with us?
I've just become a professional archer, so I decided to do Lancaster and Vegas.
And Vegas, well, we certainly appreciate you coming over. After our first end, we are tied 31-31.
And a look at Olivia Dean's first 3 shots. Steve, what are you seeing from her?
Well, Olivia's made a few finals. She's been in a few big moments like this. I think she was U.S. indoor champion, maybe USA indoor. I don't remember the exact details there, but she's done this before, and I think she's just got a pretty solid shot. She's talented, still young, so getting more and more experience, but I don't think that the moment bothers her too much.
Mm-hmm. All right, so second end of 4. If you're new to archery, watching for the first time, every time we shoot a set of arrows determined by the game that we play, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 6. Each time that's decided is called an end. So in this game that we're playing today, it's 3 arrows per end, 4 ends. Highest score wins. If we're tied at the end, we're going to have a shoot-off. If we get there, we'll explain that. Also on the scoring, you see 10 asterisks. So that's going to be a 10-liner. So that's going to be a call made by the judge. No question on that 11 for Roner.
10.
Something a little different here at Lancaster compared to other head-to-head formats like World Archery is you have a 30-second clock, whereas most of them you're only on a 20-second clock. So they've got 30 seconds to draw the bow and fire the shot. There's a high 9 from Roner. So chances are Dean may have a 1-point lead, depends on what that first 10 ends up called.
Yeah, and with that 30 seconds, Steve, what we've seen throughout the weekend and some other years we've been here is it does allow a compound shooter to actually let down and then redraw and get after the shot again.
So here, I think we got some nerves showing up, and they're kind of battling off each other a little bit here. So sometimes, you see an opponent slip up, and it can kind of energize you. Sometimes you see an opponent slip up, and you kind of chase that, incidentally.
I have an opportunity to make up ground, and then all of a sudden,
All right, waiting for
all right, so we're going to wait for official score, but here is PJ.
Olivia, how you doing?
Very nervous, but besides that, great.
Besides that, great. So you've been shooting for a long time, but Heather was telling me this is your first time on the Classic final stage.
Yeah, I've been shooting this shoot for like 6 years, but it's my second time in the women's pro, so finally made it here. It feels good.
All right, you're going to be able to work through those nerves. I know it.
Hopefully, yeah.
You got the coach back here working with you, too.
Yeah, she's a big help.
All right, Olivia, welcome to the final stage. It's actually a 1-point lead.
Recap on Elisa Roner from Italy and how she got her 31 points. Those are those ones, just those 9s, right?
Yeah.
Especially at this level.
Killers.
Yep.
And you don't want any of that creeping in. I mean, you want to see a good sight picture and remember that, right? And then go arrow to arrow and try to maintain that. But yeah, so when you get nervous, I mean, this is a sport where the intent is to hold still and aim well. And when you get nervous, it's very hard to do that. And then Olivia mentioned in her interview there, she said, "How are you feeling?" She said, "I'm nervous." Hard to not feel that way. And something we always used to do is, you kind of lie to yourself. You say, "I'm excited," because there's a similarity in the actual, being nervous and being excited, but one is positive and one is a negative. So even if you're lying to yourself, try to flip that to a positive and run with it. So here we are, 1-point lead for Roner. Quick matches, only 12 total arrows.
11.
Got to maintain, you can't let things get too far away.
Nice to hear after some strong performances in early 2023 for Roner that she's now a professional archer. You know, when asked what keeps her coming back, Roner, when asked what keeps her coming back to archery, she said, "It's my job."
11.
So that'll do it. that'll definitely keep you coming back. Great end from Olivia Dean, 33, perfect.
Perfect score.
Let's give it up for these ladies matching 33s. This is women's pro class.
11.
Elisa, great start to you here at the Classic. Can you run through your equipment for me? Your bow, your sight, all that setup. Go ahead.
My bow is performing great. I have a PSC bow, Easton arrows, and Turbo XL, and Gilo stabilizer.
And you're shooting Eastons. All right. Well, it seems to be working for you. How the nerves feeling?
The nerves feel good. I mean, it's good to be nervy a little bit.
She likes it. All right. Good to hear. We have, after 2 ends, Elisa still holds that 1-point lead, 95-94. 3 ends. Sorry, 1 to go.
All right, so 1 end to go in this match, but Steve, that's really the critical thing. It's like, I know that some people think being nervous is a problem, but it's not, is it? It's how you end up dealing with your nerves, because you're going to be nervous at certain places.
Yeah, you're going to get nervous in the matches leading up to this, but yeah, how you flip that and having an opportunity to shoot up here is way more fun than grinding away in practice at home. So, you know, enjoy it. Enjoy it when you can do it.
Yeah, practice at home is a grind.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Perfect start for Olivia Dean.
Yep, final end here.
11.
So Roner's going to maintain that 1-point advantage. This is an interesting because Olivia's going first, and Roner dictated that, having gone into this end with the lead. She got to choose if she went first or second, but Olivia
11.
Okay.
getting what she needs.
So depending on this arrow from Roner,
Yeah, if she gets an 11 here, Olivia's going to have to go for a 12.
Yeah. And that was that button that you saw on the platform.
10.
Oh, just a little bit out. Really good looking shot. Just held it touch long and dropped it low. So Olivia's got a chance to put the pressure back on Roner if she can get an 11 here.
So an 11 for Dean, and this plays into Roner, so
11, 10.
it is an 11.
She's
So
got it.
if Roner can either choose to tie this match to go for an 11 or hit the 12 ring and try to go for the jugular. She's not going to call the 12. So this is going to, she's trying to tie this match up and take us to
11.
She got
Nice.
it. Perfect.
Okay. So now, after official scoring is in, we're going to go to shoot off arrows.
But there are some close arrows.
11.
What do you think, Steve?
I think that one's in.
Yeah, I think I would call that in as well.
Yeah, and again, for those.
All right, it is official.
Yep.
We are tied, 127, 127.
All right, so we do have a tie at 127 apiece. So let's go to the judge to tell us how it's going to work.
Congratulations. We are going into a shoot-off. We will shoot a 1-hour shoot-off. First arrow is for score. If we are still tied, we will shoot a second arrow for score. If we are still tied, we will shoot a third arrow that will be measured closest to the center to determine the winner. You still have choice of to shoot first or second. You'll shoot second. Olivia, you'll shoot first.
12s are in play for the first 2 ends.
Steve, Roner make the right decision?
Yeah, I think you want to go second. If you go first, you assume you have to make a perfect shot, and they have the opportunity to shoot it at 12. If you go second, see.
That was a quick shot from Dean,
Yeah.
but it worked for her.
So now, yep, Eliza's going for it. She picked the 12.
12 is called.
This is like going for 2 to win the football game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's an American analogy.
This is the 3-point shot.
She
got it.
Smoked it.
Wow.
Yep. Did it on her own terms. Wasn't
Yep.
going to wait around.
And you know what? I think Elisa Roner had practiced that at some point, had a lot of confidence in that shot, and that's why she knew into that final end she was going to play into that 11, tie the match, and then just bring home the slam dunk to advance to the next round. So congratulations to Olivia Dean, who will finish 4th in this tournament. But now Elisa Roner from Italy has guaranteed herself a podium spot. Let's go to PJ.
Women's Open Pro. From somewhere in the UK I can't pronounce, Ella Gibson. I'll ask her how to pronounce it.
All right, so international battle. Cirencester, right? Is that what it looks like? Cirencester, UK?
Yeah, that sounds like a good
All
poke
right.
at it. But
All right, shooting for Darton. Ella Gibson's been shooting quite a while. 4-time World Cup gold medals and world #1 ranking. Ella Gibson is absolutely on fire as of late. And so we have the UK shooting off against Italy. As the winner of this match advances to shoot against the #1 seed. And the loser guaranteed 3rd spot here at the Lancaster Archery Classic, our 20th edition of this tournament. 1 year off during the COVID years. Had the big snowgate in 16, but you know that tournament already had started, just didn't get finished.
I was a part of that one. That was wild. Yeah, so Ella has been shooting really well. She kind of busts on the scene, 3 years ago or so, but the last 2 years she's really taken her game to the next level. And that 10 right there may be all that she needs to win this match. I would not be surprised to see Ella roll 12 straight 11s.
11.
Yep, there's the first one. Seems like it's been too, Steve, with this format and with the elevated platforms and with the crowd here, the first 11 is the hardest.
Yeah, and it's just a sight-in thing too. When you go from one range to another, you have to sight in slightly differently, just how the light's entering your scope lens and your peep. So, you know, you try to pay attention to what good archers ahead of you are having happen in their first arrow, and then be prepared accordingly.
10.
Oh, there's a 10, so we're all even.
Okay.
See, you'll notice Ella's kind of hanging left side, and I've noticed that from a few other archers too. And I heard Bodie Turner say it in the back. He said, the last 2 years I've started out to the left side, so I'm sighting in for the right side X back here in practice.
Interesting.
Yep.
I know for bare bow yesterday, everybody who was on target #1, the left target, they were hitting left, 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 left.
Interesting. Just something with the lighting. When you get different lumens on each side of the room, you can have that.
11.
Sure can.
All square, 32.
Yep. And even her 11s are a little left. All right, let's go to PJ.
Gibson, welcome to the Lancaster Archery Classic final stage.
Thank you. It was nice to be here.
And I want to make sure I do your hometown justice. I couldn't pronounce it. How do you pronounce that?
It's Cirencester.
Cirencester, okay. So I can't remember if you've been up here on the final stage before.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay. How's it feel? You're a pro, you've been all around the world. How the nerves feeling?
Always nervous, but I'm nervous in any kind of tournament.
All right, well, it certainly doesn't show, Ella. Currently, we have a tie, 32-32.
Steve, a quick look at Ella Gibson and how she got her 32.
Cirencester.
Cirencester.
Is that how it was?
Yeah.
There's a 1776 joke to make there. But
Somewhere.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
All right. And number 2.
And we roll on. And number 2 of 4. Winner of this match going up against our #1 qualifier.
And Roner has decided to shoot first again. I think that's the right way to go about it throughout the ends until maybe the fourth end, sorry. You know, when it can be decided, then I think you want to actually trail, which is putting a lot of pressure on yourself, but it's whatever. Everything's a lot of pressure here, so
yeah,
treat it the same.
11.
Such a strong shot from Roner.
Yeah, and I think these two were the finalists at Indoor World Series last year in Las Vegas, and Roner came out on top in that one.
11.
And really, if you look at the way World Archery works, it's that inner ring that we have here that we count as 11. That's the only 10 ring that you get when you shoot World Archery for compound.
Correct.
That's why I don't shoot it.
11.
It can be frustrating. Can be
Roner
nice.
has been really solid coming up as a junior, and then that was kind of her big entrance onto the scene last year. And I don't think she's going to go anywhere. I think she feels like this is where she belongs.
Let's give it up for these ladies.
Matching 33s. Still keep us all tied up after end number 2 at 65 apiece. PJ.
Olivia with her Darton. They are one of our premier sponsors here, so I want to make sure we get your equipment. Run down for us what you're shooting.
I'm shooting the Exodus with the tiny little stops because I like that for my holding weight. I've got the Freak Show QD rest, the A hot rods, True Ball XL scope and sight and release aid, rainbow strings and bloodline material, as well as Black Eagle arrows and biter pins.
All right, very good. Thank you, Ella. And currently we are still tied, 65-65.
And number 3 of 4. 20 yards downrange is the 40-centimeter target face. The innermost circle is that 11 points. We do have a 1.5-centimeter dot sitting down there at the bottom of the red, or middle of the bottom of the red, and that is a 12 ring. That needs to be called, and each archer has the option to call it once per end. Now, Steve, I did speculate yesterday. I want your opinion on something. What I think could happen is you just make 4 12s cumulative. You can shoot them anytime you want. So you could get to the third end.
And you can take 3 shots.
Take 3 shots.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I was just throwing it around. I'm not the rules committee here for the Lancaster Archery Classic, but.
So they're matching each other here again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe being aggressive and going for that 12 earlier. You know, no one really does it, but I think sometimes you can do it and just, if you're going to get it, jump out to a lead. And I think I would do it if, say I was 7th in the men's or whatever, and you have to shoot all the matches. You get up there, you get tired. All right, I'm going to try to put this out there early and at least give myself a little boost or put the opponent on the back foot.
I can totally see where you do that.
We kind of saw it in the amateur men's open out of Zach, I think it was.
10.
That shot looked really good coming off the bow. Must have just been just a slight drop in that pin.
It's just hard sometimes to hold that center all the way through on when you're really nervous. That one's a close one too.
All right, so we're going to wait for an arrow call to see if on Gibson's if they're all tied up. If it goes to 11, though, she'll be ahead by 1 point heading into the final end. Let's get back to BJ.
To keep advancing, how'd you feel shooting at that 12?
It was cool.
It was cool. Hey, that's all you need to say. It is cool. That's why we put it there, because it's cool. So going into our final end, we're waiting on a close. There we had 1 upgraded.
All right, so it looks like, it got upgraded to an 11. So it's Ella Gibson up by 1 point heading into this final end.
97, 96. Do you have the
But Gibson also knows that Roner has that 12 in her back pocket.
It'd be interesting to see if Ella chooses to go first or second. She should go second here. I think she did. Yep.
Yep. We see that from our vantage point. Who's going to advance to face the number 1 seed? These 3 arrows could decide it.
Good start.
Great work by our camera crew, by
Yeah,
the way. That was a really nice shot.
Nice shot there. There's got to be a name for that kind of dynamic, but I
Rack
don't know what
focus.
it is. Okay.
11.
Nice.
Keeping the pressure on. That's what she's got to do. So right here, if Ella shoots an 11, Elisa needs to shoot for a 12.
11,
Look
10.
good. Yep. Oh, I think that one's out.
And that's the toughest for Roner, is what is she going to do? The clock is running. She's already at 22 seconds, and she just called a 12. So she's good. She has 18 seconds left on the clock.
Just got a closer look at Ella's. Now I think it's in.
Okay.
So this is the right move.
She's going to have to look at that from her coach. So 9 seconds left on the clock. Going for the 12.
Nope, 9.
Just high 9.
So now Ella will guarantee a win with a 10.
10.
There you go.
Yep.
That's all she needed to do.
See what they call on that one, though. It could have,
Yeah.
you know.
But if it goes to 11, it's a 2-point win. If it stays at 10, it's a 1-point win.
Yeah. If it stays at 10, she didn't need to shoot it.
Yeah,
Didn't need to
exactly.
shoot it at 12, but it's probably the right move because you don't know.
Yeah.
That looks in, so.
Yep.
All right, Elisa Roner is going to
Yep.
finish in 3rd place here at the
So
Classic.
Elisa Roner,
She's gonna take home
3rd place.
$1,250 from us.
And that means that
Give it
Ella
up for
Gibson
Elisa
gets to
Roner.
stay on the stage. As we go to PJ, we'll talk some more and then announce our number 1 seed.
All right, let's bring out our number 1 seed from Winchester, Kentucky, Tanja Gellenthien.
All right, so here we go, our final 4 ends of regulation shooting for the 2024 Lancaster Archery Classic in the Women's Open Pro Division. And Tanja Gellenthien been shooting quite a while, won Vegas a couple times, shot 900 in Vegas. An absolute freight train of a shooter for the last several years, and yeah, living in Winchester, Kentucky with her husband,
Yes.
Braden.
Tanya is definitely super Danish and from Denmark,
Yes.
but resides in Winchester, Kentucky
Sure.
now.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
Husband Braden, who is super from Massachusetts.
Wicked, dude, wicked awesome.
Yeah.
Wicked awesome kid.
Yeah. Here we go from Tanya. This is tough. It's tough to come in cold. The number 1 seed often, gets taken down because you're coming in cold and your opponent's got a good warm up. Tanya appeared to have sighted in for the right side, knowing people were hitting the a little bit left. Maybe she just gave it a little bit too much.
Exactly.
I saw her adjust her sight right there to fix that.
11.
So see
But
right there. It's a 1-point advantage to have won your match prior to the new person coming in.
That's it. Just auto.
That's
Automatic.
it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously not a guarantee, but
No.
oftentimes it plays out that way.
Plus, I do agree with the strategy of knocking the other shooter off of their spot. Just get them down off their perch, get them stepping sideways. Even if the lighting isn't that much different, I just like the idea of moving them and giving them a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's not working right now on Ella Gibson, but I
Nope.
think that that's the move.
Ella's hitting middle.
Yes.
High. Yeah, that's a little bit of nerves playing out right there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bobble, and then trying to get it back going again.
Ella looks really comfortable. Not seeing a lot of movement out of her. That's probably just a slight push, just a little bit of too much bow hand in the execution, or that'll oftentimes pop you up high.
1-point lead. Tanja Gellenthien, welcome back to the Finals Classic Stadium.
Thank you. be back.
How does it feel? How are the nerves feeling?
Pretty good, you know. Oh, nervous as always, but we're here.
All right, well, this is pretty cool. Darton is one of our prime sponsors here. We've got an all Darton finals here in Women's Open Pro. Tanja, run through your equipment for us.
Yeah, so I'm running my Darton Exodus. I got my gas bowstrings on here, my Freak Show QD, my Excel sight, my True Ball Goat. We got PS27's Black Eagle with a E-Veins on there.
All right, and your coach you got back here, tell us a little bit about him.
I mean, I don't know if you've heard of him, but
Absolutely, Braden Gellenthien won one of our early classics. The first.
Our first look at
After
Tanja
one
Gellenthein's
end here, 32-31
archery
for
form,
Ella Gibson.
the way she shot, and she gave that second shot quite a bit of English, Steve, but it went right in the 11 ring. So we'll see if she's able to gather it back up, being 2 points down. 32 points for Ella Gibson, 31 for Tanja Gellenthien. Sorry, just a single point down.
Interesting, Ella's chosen to go second. But yeah, hopefully Tanja can get on track here, get that first end out of the way. Still popping a little high. Sometimes when I get under really bright light like this, like the target's extremely lit up, sometimes I'll find that I hit high. So I don't know if that's what she's going through, if it's just, you know, the fact that it's really hard to hold perfectly still in the middle of this little target face. That's usually the problem.
For me, I did some test shooting here before, before these finals yesterday and today. And the one thing I did notice is that it closed my peep down quite a bit.
Okay.
So like had I had my choice, I probably would have gone to a larger peep aperture.
Yep.
And I know that for me, if I don't have a good centered peep, that it can definitely affect my ups and downs.
Yeah. Anytime you're in bright light, your peep will appear smaller. If you're in dim light, your peep will appear larger. So you gotta. It's why it's handy to carry, something like a specialty kit where you can plug in
That's
a different
exactly
peep
what I have.
aperture really quick.
Yep.
11.
And I bought my specialty peep at Lancaster Archery Supply years ago.
That's a place you can buy specialty archery peeps.
Yes. That's right. All right. Unofficially 63-64.
Yeah, Tanja had a close one.
Second match in, how are you feeling? You settling down?
Yeah, still nervous, but a little bit more settled.
All right, the nerves. Do you like the nerves? Does that help you, or would you rather they not be here at all?
No, I like them. I think they're good. I think they make us more powerful.
Powerful. All right. Good to hear. And after two ends, we have Ella Gibson with a 1.
Now, Steve, with that comment actually being more powerful, whether that's mentally or physically, can it be sometimes that you're pulling so hard through the shot that it sends it high a little bit?
Yeah, that can happen. And if that's what she meant, like more strength in the shot or something.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that could happen with some nerves.
Yeah, she definitely could have meant mentally more powerful. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's hard to say, but I think it's more fun, right? You don't get to
agreed.
experience this at home training. No, just grinding away in your basement or wherever your archery range is. So
Yeah, look, the first time I shot a 300 in Vegas, the last arrow of the 9th end, my leg was shaking so much I had to let down.
Yeah.
But the cool thing was is that when I actually got done with that, is I proved to myself that I
Get
can
through it.
deal with
Yeah.
I can deal with the nerves, and that created a ton of confidence.
Yep. And the hard part is it can often affect the hands are shaking and front to back. So much of an archer's shot is developed in the push-pull and the balance they have between bow arm and release hand and the tension there. And certain archers will really pull the guts out of the bow with the release hand. Some really push the bow with the bow arm. And, others are more balanced between the two. But that normalcy can leave when you've got a lot of anxiety running through your veins. So that's the complicated thing about this. And other sports, when you're under a pressure situation, usually you can yell and scream and go and run into somebody and do it that way. But this is these precision sports of holding still. It's a whole different game than anything you'll experience in the ball sports or the traditional sports.
So for Gellenthien, it's that third arrow that's going to be an interesting call. The
Yeah.
door was kind of open for that 10 by Gibson on the second arrow. Not sure if she's able to capitalize on it. After 3 ends of shooting, we have 1 final end to determine who's going to be the Women's Open Pro champion here at Lancaster Archery Classic. Unless we go tie, and then we're going to go to some shoot-off arrows or a shoot-off arrow.
That looks in to me. I think she's going to get that one.
Okay.
Should see that pop up on the screen here when they called it. Yep, it did. So we're going to have a tie game.
Okay. So Gellenthien gets that 11. So now we're 96-96. So we have 3 arrows to go for each of these archers. The final end of regulation scoring. Is someone going to be able to pull out to a lead? Will there be 12s called? Or are we going to tie and see shoot-off arrows shot? Now's the time to find out.
Some confusion here. I think they're
deciding who actually gets to call.
Yeah, I don't know how.
who
I
gets
guess
called
because they're
first or
tied,
second.
it's Tanya's choice. She's the higher seed.
Yep. Either way, Gellenthien is going to shoot first.
Both of these women are physically strong too. They're probably shooting.
11, inside out.
They're probably shooting 60 pounds. So most of these archers you're going to see today are shooting around 60 pounds because they also shoot World Archery format, which has a 60-pound limit.
11.
So in the men's class we're going to see next, or the open class, they're almost all going to be around 60, maybe a pound or 2 up or down from that. But Ella and Tanja are both going to be there too. So
Wow.
there's not any difference there in terms of what the bow is physically doing for them. You know, so
11.
it's a cool part about the sport.
Yep.
You know, being a man, being a woman doesn't necessarily matter.
That's right. Distance is the same. Target face is the same.
Yep. There's a little bit of shake from Ella that we haven't seen yet. She's holding a long time.
11, 10, 9.
I think she got that. I think that's in.
Okay.
Yep, they're calling it in preliminary.
Gellenthien needs the 11 here to put the pressure on Gibson.
She's got a little bob to the hold. She's going a little long as well. A letdown.
Okay,
Ooh.
14 seconds left on the clock.
Plenty
Now
of time.
We're down to 10. She gets the full draw with 8 seconds to go.
She's gonna fire a fast shot here.
3.
She's got a lot of
Yep.
shake. She got it.
Oh!
Look
All
at
right,
Braden's,
Ella's going for
Braden's fist
12.
pumping.
Sorry, Steve. Ella is going for a 12.
This is
lit
for
it
the
up.
win. Bold.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
I'm gonna stand up for this one. Just under.
Just low.
Oh.
Going for all the glory. Didn't want to take it to a shoot-off arrow.
Yeah.
You got to admire the spirit of Ella Gibson. Trying to go for it. It doesn't pay off. Yeah.
About 2 mil.
2 mil. We'll wait for our official score, but we can clearly see it from here. Here's PJ.
From us, $3,500 from Darton. Let's give it up for Ella Gibson, second place finisher at the Classic. And our champion, $4,000 from us, $7,500 from Darton, Tanja Gellenthien. How's that feel?
Pretty darn good.
Clutch letdown there. You came back and hit the 11. What was going through your mind?
I was nervous. Everything was shaking. I was like, okay, if I reset, maybe it'll be better the second time.
And apparently it was.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very happy.
I can't remember if you have won the Classic before.
Yeah, 2019.
2019, all right, you're up there on the banner. We're gonna put you on another one. Tanja Gellenthien, you're our 2024 Women's Pro Classic champ.
Thank you.
Hello. One of the greatest things about this tournament, that 30-second shot clock. Absolutely fantastic. Well, that's Women's Open Pro. Tanja Gellenthien, your champion. Thanks for checking out this coverage. We appreciate it. Make sure you stick around. Coming up next, the last of the 2024 Lancaster Archery Classic. It's the Open Pro category with 8 archers getting after that #1 spot. Stay with us.
All right, we're going to take a short break.